Harry says, Harry, not Prince Harry anymore. You're up there. Not Prince Harry anymore. Not Prince Harry. Just old hazmat. Just old hazards. I'll tell you what I can do. I can move myself onto the other side there. The old speed. I'll move myself over there. That'll just make me feel better because now I'm looking in the right direction. I mean, look, I'm one of these people at this. I'm on the wall. I'm one of these giant people on the wall at this conference. They didn't expect that, did they? It's like one of those movies where the posters start talking. It's like Harry Potter. You're at your conference. All of a sudden, giant Scots turned up. Hello. They're all looking at me, aren't they? They're all looking at me. Of course they're all looking at me. I'm bigger than everyone. Hi, you're with Scott. This is Mental Health Monday. It's Monday. It's 8 p.m. GMT. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear. This is your right ear. This is your left ear. It's all happening now. This is Mental Health Monday, though. So what the hell am I doing chuffing? Why am I doing all this chuffing when we should be talking about the Samaritans? If you're really down in the dumps and you're like, you know, I come here to Mental Health Monday and this guy's doing a load of chuffing. You can talk in chat. We'll just talk with you. You bring up your thing. I'll bring up the thing. It'll talky. No problem. If I've got something planned, but if you just want to talk, that's fine. We can divert our planned thing. We can do it next week. And then if you're really severely like, oh, I'm really struggling here and this isn't quite working for me just watching Twitch, here's to the Samaritans. You can call them on 116123 for free in the UK. And in America, you've got Lifeline, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. They're changing that to 988. So there's some resources. Sometimes you might feel like calling the Samaritans, even though you're not suicidal, because you've got lots and lots of worries and because things are really getting you down about like your job or that's still good to call them. That's still cool. He's not a prince anymore. He's just Harry. He's got his hands out. He's doing some talking. It's one of those photographs. He's got his hands out and he's doing some talking. They've set that up. They've set that up, haven't they? Can everyone just take your places for the photograph? All of the models. This isn't actually like, this is a photograph on behalf of the Duke of Sussex. That they're all models in that room. Let me get my face back on top of him. They're all models in that room. I absolutely guarantee it. This isn't some event that he's just been chatting at and someone's, oh, I'll take a little photograph of Harry while he's talking. This is a press release photography thing for his business. So they're all models and that's for his business. I'll tell you about it. Harry says quitting jobs to put mental health first should be celebrated. Now that's where we're going to come to, as like a jumping off point, and there's going to be some things I'm going to say. So that's what we're doing tonight. I am actually going to talk. I'm talking to you. I'm Prince Harry. I'm talking to you. I'm going to talk to you about whether it's a good idea to quit your job, whether you can be better and happier in your life if you do. Maybe it's not, so maybe you shouldn't. Whether Prince Harry's right to suggest it, what his reasons are, and what we can do for you in your life to make you happier, even if you don't quit your job, even if you stay at the job because your job's not the worst thing in the world, and you know, there's stability. And we'll come on to that in a minute. And we're going to look at a sort of like, maybe this is good because New Year's coming up, Christmas, New Year, a sort of action plan that you can put into place, sort of to make your life better, happier, to achieve the things you want to achieve, where to get in your life, how to do it, and whether that would even be right, whether that would be stressful or not. All that stuff is coming up in today's Mental Health Monday that I have to crouch down so that you get a good look at me. The Duke of Sussex has said job resignations accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic aren't all bad. They're not all bad. Adding that people putting their mental health and happiness first should be celebrated. Well, yes, and I've got stories to tell, and we've got a whole thing to talk about tonight on that, so we will talk about that. Harry, who quit his own role as senior working royal, kind of quit his job, kind of. He quit his own role. It's not like he's working in the chuffing chip shop because he needs to, bring home a certain amount of money because otherwise they're going to cut off his electric, is it? Quit his own role as senior working royal for a new life of personal and financial freedom in 2020. He was speaking up as Chief Impact Officer for professional coaching and mental health firm BetterUp. Oh, hang on. So what's happening is Prince Harry, who is no longer a senior working royal, so now he's got to make his own money. Financial freedom in 2020. He's got to make his own money. So he's speaking up because he's a Chief Impact Officer for professional coaching and mental health firm BetterUp. I mean, what does a Chief Impact Officer mean? Is he just being paid to promote them? What's BetterUp? We better have a look. Before we get into, got to say this first. The first thing we've got to say is, what a chuffer. You know, what a self-entitled chuffer. He doesn't know what it's like to live on the breadline, you know, to struggle, to have to bring home that money, does he? He doesn't know what that's like. He doesn't know what it's like to have to put up with a load of shit at work because you have to listen to this shit off your boss just because at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that pay packet's there because you've got bills to pay. Like, he doesn't know what it's like to actually lose that job and then to have to go to Universal Credit and say, can you please help me out this week because I might have to get moved out of my house because the rent's come in. You know, he doesn't know what it's like to have to, and on and on. Put your situation in this place. Prince Harry doesn't know what it's like, does he, to have to struggle? And even on the other successful side of that, to have to work, you know, an extra day a week or an extra hours, you're getting more money, yeah, great, but you're having to work really hard for it. And he doesn't know what that's like, does he? Because he's been the chuffing prince. So I get it. Yeah, absolutely. Glad I said that at the start. But before we get carried away with that, and we are going to talk about whether it's a good idea if you quit your job and what we can do in our lives to improve them, whether it's careers, whatever. That's going to be today's episode, but we're going to set the context with me just going mad about stuff for a minute. So Prince Harry works for BetterUp, so he's got a financial interest in BetterUp. What is BetterUp? BetterUp, like, it's quite easy to find their website. They've got a snazzy website, so I don't know if I should believe because their website is snazzy. I used to have a snazzy website. You've seen me. I don't know if I should believe that because their website's snazzy, they are indeed very, you know, high caliber, whatever. They've paid Prince Harry to put his name to it, but they might just be, you know, Shogun jokers. Who knows? I don't know. I can't just believe a website, you know. I'm just saying that first thing. But he's involved, he's got his name to it, they paid for him to put his name to it. What do they do, how it works? Business solutions and for individuals. What they do is they offer mental health support for companies and, like, you know, like coaching and things like that for companies. So, like, within a company, they might have a problem with, like, mental health in the workplace. So they might want to do a growth and transformation, like, day with BetterUp, who come into your workplace and to build leaders and accelerate team performance and engagement, you know, that sort of crap. Have you seen The Office? Right, so they do that. But for individuals, this is where this is important, because Prince Harry's promoting this in the news. He's in the news promoting it. Somehow in the news he's promoting this. Not Prince, just Harry. So what they do personally for individuals, oh look, try for free. No, let's hang on, wait. It's the guide you want, the push you need. Put your email address in, get started. How it works. You get a thing on your phone and you get assessed, and then you get a coach, and your coach, like, does sessions with you. And we've actually heard stories on Mental Health Monday in the past about these sort of services that aren't actually, you know, they've ended up with people on the phone and the coach is taking a taxi somewhere and doesn't give them monkeys, and they felt that they're not getting what they want out of it, and by then it's too late, they've already spent a load of money. We've heard these stories on Mental Health Monday in the past, so it's, you know, dangerous. They want your money so they can offer you support. They won't say that they are therapists. How is coaching different from therapy? They won't say they're therapists because obviously there's a legal implication. It may be in some countries. We know in the UK you can call yourself a therapist, but they very carefully won't call themselves therapists. So they're not that. They're just coaches, and you give them a load of money, and then they just talk to you on the phone or whatever. Now the Samaritans do that for free. They're not life coaches. The Samaritans, they're there for, you know, you in your times of need. But the Samaritans do it for free. What's important is that we have these coaches, these role models, these helpful people in our lives, and they do it for free, and they don't want financial recompense. And I'll explain to you why. For individuals here, the guide, the coach, whatever, once they've got your money, it doesn't matter if you succeed in your life. They've succeeded. Their marketing exercise is to get vulnerable people to give them money for coaching. And when they've got the money, they succeed. How do you think they tell their shareholders? How do you think in the head office of BetterUp, head office now, because remember they do this through individuals and for businesses. So they take big business, you know, doing these big business days, growth and transformation, care and diversity, sales performance. Sales performance is as important there as diversity. and growth. So sales performance, they do that sort of thing. And they also, on the side of it, offer this individuals thing. Do you think their primary focus in their boardroom, which bit brings in the most money, and who do they care for? Do you think they care about individuals like you more than they care about bringing in money? Do you think in the boardroom, when they're measuring this year's, how have we done this year on BetterUp, how many people we've helped, how many success stories we've had, how many people we can prove measurably have improved their mental health and been supported by us, or is it a pie chart of how much money we've made? How many people keep spending money on our services? So if you're using and targeting vulnerable people with mental health issues, people who require coaching in their life, I'm doing this for free on the internet. If you are targeting those people and you're asking them for money at the start of the journey, it's a wrong red flag, bells, whistles, whatever you want. It's a wrong thing. It's dangerous. It's dangerous because not only are you motivated, like I said, at the end goal, the shareholder is of the money and not the person's well-being, but the mechanics that's driving your business is capitalist mechanics and not personal story. Personal. Like you can't say we're going to try and make as much money as possible through this business. Oh, and by the way, we're going to help people. So we're, no blood on our hands. We're all goodies. No, like the people that really need the help might be wasting their money when someone could offer them the right support for free. Maybe someone should offer it for free because it's needed. So this thing they're offering is like a kind of, the problem with this, I'll take you through a couple of the problems as well. They do an assessment, right? Give you your email, do an assessment. That's marketing stuff, that is. So you're like half an hour into this process of giving them your information. They love your data. They want your data, don't they? They love your data. It means they can tailor the marketing better to you. So they can try and convince you they're doing a good job for you. And if they can convince you in the short term that they're giving you the push you need, you might fill in a questionnaire and say good things about them. And then they can use that to just make marketing statistics. Of course they want your data and give them all your information, your personal details about your mental health, not to a serious group of therapists or somebody with medical backing or just a company, just a company that make money. So get on your phone, do your assessment, tell them all about yourself. They'll use that to try and sell more personally to you the next step, which is by life coaching sessions. And then you'll be on the phone to somebody who's like got 15 years in business coaching, whatever. So they could say whatever they want. Remember, there's no, they're not therapists, so they can say whatever they want, whoever they are. And then you're talking to someone on the phone, so it's basically like having a friend, an unqualified friend who's not really a friend because they want your money. And the best thing they can do when they're on the phone to you is to make sure that you're in a position where tomorrow you're quite likely to give them the same amount of money for the same amount of time, at least. It's like if I'm a hairdresser and I can fix my client's hair, because I used to be a hairdresser, right? If I can fix my client's hair so their hair never grows, it stays the same forever and it's perfect, then they'll never come back, will they? So lucky for me, their hair keeps growing. Maybe lucky for them, they don't fix your problems, you keep coming back. I think there's a profit motive means that's a problem. So this is dangerous. What Harry is pushing is dangerous for mentally. Like if you're mentally not completely stable and you're looking for coaching, and Harry says quit your job for your mental health. If you're having struggles, quit your job. You might be reaching out and end up paying money to these fly-by-nights who are here to just strip you of your money. And do they care if, well, look, it says here 76% of members rate sessions with their coaches as life-changing or amazing. So coaches have got a vested interest in making. Can you make sure you press subscribe and click like? Because I want you to make sure you rate me as life-changing or amazing, please. Mate, I'll pressure you to do that. And what's happening to the other 25%? Are they rating this as not good enough? Waste of money. Do they get their money back? This is dangerous things. It's not good. It's dangerous, dodgy. It's corporate money, salespeople, business solutions on how to improve your sales performance. It's that sort of stuff dressed up as mental health support, because you can make money off vulnerable people who are looking for support, because like a fool and his money are easily parted. And if you're struggling in life, then you might be more willing to part with money for the promise of a new tomorrow and great hope. So they're selling hopes. selling dreams. Prince Harry's pushing it. He's even said, so now you've said that, is it a good idea to quit your job, Harry, as he suggests? Is it a good idea for the normal working man just to jack it in? Normal working woman, sorry for the patriarchy, for the normal working people just to quit their job at Tesco because they chuffing well hate it and it gets on their nerves and they're stressed. Well, no, because then you haven't got any money and you're even in a worse off position. And maybe those people, maybe they've done the stats, maybe they've run the numbers, maybe those people are more likely to contact BetterUp because they need to help coaching themselves into the next phase of their life because Prince Harry convinced them it was a good idea to quit their job when it might not have been. So what we can absolutely categorically say from researching this, and I'm getting a little bit animated because I care about mental health. I care about people who are struggling, and to see somebody who is wealthy beyond need for any further financial endeavour to be backing or promoting for his own financial good this campaign that for this business, not a charity, not a charity that needs its support for people to support mental health, not that sort of thing, not politically to say let's fund the social services, not that. He's not doing that. What he's doing is he's being paid to promote a good or a service, and it's basically a bit of a con job. And what the con job is that you get hooked up on this and then you end up spending money, and you're a vulnerable person to start with, so they're going for that market. So it's sinister as well. Now it's sinister. And they're going to make it look good because they've got money and they're a marketing company and they're into sales. And sales, how it works, sales. Okay, sales. So don't be caught up in that. Harry's a wrong 'un. He's giving bad advice. That's made me angry. And it should make you angry too, shouldn't it? Like, in a way. But now, what we have to do, this is a really good lesson, this is. Now what I have to do, hello, ex-God Ludwig, nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. Now what I have to do is I have to be able to calm my anger. I have to be able to say this is a wave. Seeing this in the news, because this is what the news is about, isn't it? It's getting an emotional response out of you. That's what marketing's about, isn't it? It's getting an emotional response out of you. Seeing it in the news has made me a bit angry. Do you know what that's about? Is probably about distracting from the political climate of the day. Probably because we are not doing an inquiry into all the people that died of COVID. That the news want to make sure they make a big hoo-ha over something that people can sort of, I don't know. That's a different story, which we're going to talk about in the week. But Harry says quitting jobs to put mental health first should be celebrated. Of course it's going to make you a bit like, come on, Harry, the chuffer. What does he know about, like, there in that photograph, like I said, that's just a marketing photograph put together by that company, by that BetterUp company. They're all models. That's him in a room of models, and they've taken a posed photograph with models to make him look good. So, of course, it's going to make you cross. How do you just let that go, haven't you? Got to let that go. It's just like a wave. It's like, I used to feel cross, now I don't. I remember before I even read this, I didn't feel cross. I remember when I was looking at the dog earlier, I was happy. So, like, it's just a wave. It's just a feeling. It's just going to dissipate. It's just a wave. And that takes us nicely into the background sound today is the ocean ambience on a tropical island, Maldives, with soothing waves and paradise view for relaxation. This is from a channel called Relaxing Sounds. That's what's going on behind. If the waves are too loud, or if they're not loud enough, you tell me, and I can turn them up or down. I don't want them to dominate. I want my voice to dominate. If you want to tip me, Ko-fi.com, and we said that earlier, it goes into the kitty, rah, rah, rah. So what we're doing today then, after I've chilled out now from Harry and his frightful comments because he's leading a frightful business. There's Samaritans, there's Lifeline. What we're actually going to do is we're going to talk about whether it's a good idea to quit your job. I'm going to talk through, I've made some notes. Where's my notes? Oh, chuff. There's my notes. Okay, they're big notes. And I'm going to go through the big notes. We're going to talk about this sort of stuff. And I'm actually going to tell you, I might be able to edit this into how to be Eddie Hearn. How to become Eddie Hearn. How to be Eddie Hearn. If you like Eddie Hearn, great. If you don't, insert name here. Harry says quit your job. It's kind of the right message coming from the wrong person. Now, whoa. Scott, you're going to fight two sides of this coin today. So I could have set this up actually with two different faces, couldn't I? I could have had two hats, and it's going to be difficult. I'm just going to fight two sides. In the edit, I might flip myself and change the colour. But I can use the second camera. Wait, where's that? That could be Scott number 2. And I'm not going to switch the 2 cameras on and off. I'm not going to mess with it. Look, it's the right message coming from the wrong person, insofar as it might be right to quit your job. He was saying in COVID, people might have lost their jobs or quit their jobs. And what he's trying to sort of say is that it's an opportunity for a new start. And that, I mean, I did that. My film work discontinued. This work started up. I actually was a carer in the middle. So I did something completely different. So, I know what it's like. So yeah, actually, true. I used to be a hairdresser. I quit that because of my mental health. But today I'm going to tell you all the steps it took me to become top hairdresser, running your own salon, going from nothing to something. And at the top, I quit. I wanted out. Now I'm doing this. Now, being able to assess your goals doesn't mean they're always going to be right. It's just a journey. So, yeah, I actually agree. Quitting a job that you hate, if it's stressing you, if it's bad for your mental health, or even if it's just happened. We talked to somebody the other week, didn't we? Remember. We talked to somebody the other week who had lost their job and was having trouble talking to their family about it. It wasn't their choice, but it can be a great stepping stone. So I wanted to do this. This is so weird. I want to do this to say, absolutely good. Yes, quit your job. It's a good idea. We can go on this journey and make something of ourselves in a completely new way. But I also want to say, because I don't know if Harry's right. I don't know if he's just giving you bad advice because he wants you to start, unraveling and then contacting his company. I actually think it might be a good idea to stay in a job sometimes. It's not always a black and white, you have to do it right now today. Sometimes you might need a bit of stability. Sometimes you might need that wage packet coming in. It might not be that much of a stress. You might be able to just get your hours done and then have the rest of your time for free. And it doesn't, break your brain. So those jobs might be okay. It might be that you've got weekend time that you want to devote to your own thing, to your own journey, to your own... I don't want to call it a hobby because it's something passionate in you that you love, that you want to do. So maybe it's just a weekend thing. And we can still apply these ideas that we're going to talk about today for that as well. So I'm saying both sides. It's weird. There's a short term and a long term in the mental health. In the short term, stability, like I've said, might be a good idea. In the long term, it might be that you look at this, whatever situation you're in, and say, I want this to change. So in the long term, that might be your goal. But in the short term, staying in the job might be... I'm not here to answer these questions for you. I'm just here to just raise these ideas, aren't I? Stability over risk and reward. Sometimes it's good to go for the risk reward. Sometimes you need a bit of stability in the background to be able to allow you to do it. And sometimes the risk and reward is all you've got. Sometimes your stability is just like I've been on universal credit or whatever. So, you have to go for the risk reward. But, or even sometimes you get a bit of stability and it allows you to do more risk reward. So, but they're choices, aren't they? They're choices. And which one's better for your mental health? Well, it depends. If the risk reward goes well, that can be beneficial, but it can even be negative. You can get to the top of the tree and it can lead to mental health struggles. So it's hard to say, but it's about you and your feelings, isn't it? So I'm not going to tell you that one's better than the other. You might get a really good feeling after successfully achieving something you thought was difficult. Or it might be that the stability for the next 6 months is the thing that you need to get your head together. So I'm not here to tell you, but we're going to talk about the risk-reward journey, the going it on your own, the quitting your job journey. We're going to talk that through because I've done it. And we're also going to keep chipping in with, security and regular pay versus stress. Like, when you do it for yourself, you've got that stress. When you do it for somebody else, you've got that stress. But you can leave it there and come home and moan about it, whatever, bust your stress. It might be that when you do it for yourself, you've got all the potential success, but then there's a lot of stress involved. At the end of the hairdressing journey, I didn't want to be there. That wasn't the place I wanted to be. So I decided not to be there. That's cool as well. The most important thing when we're talking about your mental health is that stress. You don't know what the journey's going to be like. Will it be stressful? Yes. Does the stress lead to detrimental? Yeah, but can it lead to achievement? Yes. And if that achievement makes you proud and happy and, well, I'm glad I went through the stress and got there. If that's you, then that's cool. That's cool. But the security and regular pay shouldn't necessarily just be thrown in the can, like Harry said, in favour of a life of stress. It might not be stress, right? This is the other thing. I gave up the hairdressing. Now I do something different. I find this a lot less stressful. So maybe you can find something that's not stressful that you enjoy, and then it's worth devoting your time and energy to it. Maybe, you know, you've got to think these things through rather than what. Of course, the how much money am I going to be able to bring in every month is an important thing to think about. How happy am I doing it is an important thing to think about. But when it comes to mental health, the most tip top of that, I mean, of course, the money, if you don't get any, it's going to lead to more stress. If you can't pay, of course, you know. But the top of this list, I think, is how stressed do I get when we're in full flow of. And I realised when I was hairdressing, like when I was the person that somebody said, "Oh, can you do this lady for me? Can you? She's in for a cut and blow dry. Can you take?" And you know, and I was like, "Yes, boss, I'll do that." That was quite. There was a bit of stress towards like the hour and a half mark where I needed to hurry up and finish, but otherwise it was quite a nice, fun process. Yeah. So doing that on a day-to-day process, fine. When it came to, can you make sure all the money's totaled up and added up and everyone's got their little cut, and can you make sure that the floors are mopped and the bulbs are in the right place in the lights, and have you done the colour bill and you've got this bill and that bill, and like when I was with the boss, and then at the same time the phone's ringing, and then I've got to be nice to the ladies because we're having fun, but also like, I'm really stressed about this other thing, and like, you know, when that starts going off, I didn't know how that was going to be, but I didn't feel the same. So it's about the level of stress, isn't it? It's about the level of stress that goes on, and measuring that is difficult. So finding something, quitting your job, the whole point of what we're saying today is quitting your job. Do you want to be Eddie Hearn in the first place? You might enjoy it, or it might be really stressful. Quitting your job might lead to more stress. It might be the key to releasing yourself from that stress. I can't tell you in your situation what the correct answer is. Being able to assess these things, having a think about them is the main thing. And next step. What we're going to do is how to be Eddie Hearn. So now I'm going to tell you the steps. I'm going to let you in on the secrets of how to become anything you want to become. Whether you want to stay at your current job, whether you want to work part-time, full-time, just do something at the weekends, and at the weekends you're going to become an ice skater or an artist, or whether you're going to become a financial consultant, or whether you're going to become whatever, you know. Some of these things might require degrees. We're going to find out about that a little bit. But, you know, whatever you want to do in your time, whatever amount of time it is, if you assess for yourself that you want to quit your job and devote all of your time to doing this thing, taking breaks, of course, for your mental health. But, you know, if you want to do that as well, we'll look at that, because I've done that. So, is it better to work for yourself or stay at a steady job? We've looked at that. It's up to you. You know, it's up to you. There are different reasons for doing different things. How to do anything. I'm gonna put this as how to be Eddie Hearn, how to be me the hairdresser, how to be you an artist in your weekend time, how to be you doing up a holiday home renovation, and we're gonna, you know, you're gonna be able to apply this for anything. So first of all, short-term financial difficulties. Short-term financial difficulties. You are going to have to spend some money in most ventures. You're gonna have to spend some money, and so you're gonna have short-term financial difficulties in the start point. My best advice for this is to sell everything. You might have some bits and pieces of things that can go on eBay. Just get them gone. Any little, you know, trickle in the kitty makes a big difference. Any little trick. That's why we've got coffee.com/Ganji. Any little trickle makes a big difference, especially when you're at this short-term end, like this initial stages end. Sell everything you can. That's not. Don't sell the family silver. You know, don't sell your heirlooms, but anything that's valuable that, you know, like you might have an extra thing of, or you thought you might play the guitar but you never got round to it, and it's, you know, what, you know, do you know what I mean? Like if you've got an item that might be of some value and some use as money to help you on your journey in life, that's better off not just sat there on the shelf. This is why I'd said the other day about not understanding that full collectibles thing. But maybe if you've got lots of money, it's fun to collect things. So, you know, I'm not dissing it. But if you've got money on the shelf, you can turn it into the fuel to get you where you want to go, to mean that quitting is not a bad thing. So that's something to think about. We don't all have antiques in the attic that we can sell, of course, but little bits make a big difference. The second thing is to stop wasting your money immediately. Stop wasting it and spend it on yourself instead. What? What do you mean stop wasting it and spend it? What I mean is, instead of going to the pub, and this is hard for people, because part of your mental health, isn't it, to have fun, to go out with your mates. But alcohol is a depressant, and it does make you feel depressed. And you end up drinking too much. I don't know. Find something in your life, because we've all got it, that's a bit of a waste of money. Find something in your life. It might be, I mean, I have not used my PlayStation enough. Maybe I should sell that. Right, there's an idea from me. Maybe I shouldn't be part of their monthly opt-in thing. I don't know. You know, there's some things that we just take for granted. We just spend a bit of money on, but you need all the money you can get. Remember, because you're going to be quitting your job and, you know, starting a new venture. So stop wasting your money, and also spend it on yourself. I mean, invest it in yourself. We're going to find out how in a little bit, but investing it in yourself is the best thing. Careful, careful, careful. This, you know, red flag, red flag. They're going to want to take that money off you. Who's there who wants to take your money? Don't. It's not conspiracies, no. But there's a lot of people out there who basically want your hard-earned, you know, your bit of scratch, easy flow into their pocket. And if you're looking and hoping, and I'm trying for this, and, you know, starting out a new venture, I can help you with that. I can help you with that, mate. You know, I can help you with your mental health. Sign up to my thing, 60 quid a week. You know, I can help you with that. They're going to offer this, but it's not going to be, if they're asking for you to spend money, immediately, sorry, tap the mic, I'm going to immediately step back. There are some things that you do have to spend a bit of money on. You might have to print some leaflets, print some flyers. That's your choice, you know, that's your business costs. But if someone's coming in and saying, right, we're going to get you where you need to go, you first of all, you give me the 50 quid and then I'll get you this and I'll do that. Hang on, wait, I'll give you the 50 quid. No. We're going to choose our own spending, and we're going to invest in ourselves in the right ways, and we're going to be really careful of anything that's asking us to spend money initially. Oh, you've got to spend money to make money. Well, in the right ways, because otherwise you might have to give your money away to learn a hard lesson. So that's careful. And we're going to come back to that in a bit. We're going to talk about crypto in a bit, because that, I think, is part of that. And there's a lot of people who want to do like scam. It's not, is it scam, whatever. They want you to get involved in their sales thing, in their pyramid selling. You're looking for a new business idea, something you can do yourself in your own time. Oh, I can help you with that. I can help you with that. This is an opportunity for you. Business selling. If it comes down to selling things, walk away immediately, because you're going to be selling against Prince Harry and his money team. You're going to be selling against Coca-Cola and the Topshop and the, you know, the Walmart. You know, you're going to be selling against these companies that have got all the power for all the adverts and all this and all of that. Oh, they're going to help you. They're going to give you the product range and they're going to give you the package. Are you going to pay for that, or are they going to give it you? Are you going to pay? If you're paying for anything, they should be giving it you free, and then you make, you know, you sell it. No. If you're paying for up front, yeah, then they've made the money. They've won. If you're then going to go on and try and sell more, oh, brilliant. You know, if I can sell you a Mars bar, and after you've eaten it, you're going to go and try and tell 5 people to get more Mars bars sold, brilliant. I'll sign you up to my business. But if I'm the person buying the Mars bars and selling them on for a 10% cut and trying to convince 5 more people to sell Mars bars for me, then I'm lost, because there's no money in that. You've just become a tool to somebody else. If it's about selling, I used to do hairdressing, right? And they wanted me to colour their hair. So I'll do your hair colour, whatever colour you want. How do I get the hair colour? I have to go to Schwarzkopf and order it. And when I order it from Schwarzkopf, they're like, do you want 200 tubes, mate? Do you want 200 tubes of hair colour? I can do them you for like a special price. And I'm like, well, to be honest, Schwarzkopf, I'm making you money because I'm using your hair colour on a daily basis. So why don't you just do me them for a special price anyway? And they're like, no, I tell you what, we'll sell you 500 tubes now. You can pay us later, you know, whatever. You're going to be really good. We'll give you some marketing stuff to put up in your salon. They're going to be really good. Now I'm selling Schwarzkopf colours. Now I'm selling Schwarzkopf colours for Schwarzkopf. Before I was doing what the clients wanted. Now when they come in, I'm like, do you want Schwarzkopf on your hair? Do you want one of these colours? Because by God, I've got 500 in the back at a special price, mate. You know, now I'm working for Schwarzkopf. Be careful. Be careful. I wouldn't do any of that. I'd make my own choices. I'd buy things I wanted to buy from the wholesalers. Sometimes I wouldn't get the special price. When I wanted the special price, I'd get my deal, because I know after a year of doing it, who's got what hair colour and how much of what each thing I want. No, I don't want all these different things you're trying to sell me. No, I don't want the new shampoo. My clients don't want me to try and sell it to them. I'm not your salesman. Be careful about those business opportunities, because someone who's bought into that has got to sell that idea to you. Otherwise, they don't make their money. It's just a big circle jerk of sales. Be careful about that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So stop wasting your money. and spend it on yourself instead. And what do I mean by that? We're going to talk a little bit later about means of production and capital. It comes in a few steps. So I'll tell you a bit more about that. How to do absolutely anything. How to be Eddie Hearn. I'm going to tell you a little lesson, a fencing analogy, because I always talk about the sport and the fencing because I used to do it, didn't I? Because I'm a chuffer. And I'm going to, at the same time, remove this advert from our view up there because we don't want Prince. We're going to get Harry. Where's Harry? Yeah. Harry can stay, but the advert, well, can you tell it's an advert? I'm just going to move it down there so you can't tell what it really is. It's just a picture now of somebody doing something. I'm drawing your attention to it, aren't I, chuffer? So, the lesson is a fencing analogy. I used to do a bit of coaching, and I also was coached. One of the great lessons that I remember and taught was bring in a picture next week of your hero, your sporting hero, your hero politically, or your hero, whoever's achieved the thing, and wow, they're good. Not a superhero in a movie, unless you're really pushed, but a real person who's done something in their life that you think, wow, that took hard work and endeavour, and I'm glad you got there because I admire you. That sort of person. Mainly sports is easy when you're doing a sports class. Sporting hero. And then the next week, the kids that have brought the pictures in, for a start, I was actually amazed that they all did, because I wasn't the sort of kid. And for a start, I was like, right, these ones that have all brought the pictures in, I know they're driven. I know they're going to listen and take it in. So there was that's a top tip for the teachers out there. But what it was about, I then said to them, okay, let me see these people. Can you tell me a little bit about their stories? Of course they could, because they're their heroes. Of course they're their heroes. So let's put them, they're up there at the end of the room, right? That's where you want to get to. That's the end of the room. They're your sporting heroes up there. Because you need to visualise these things in 3D. It's not just me telling you stuff. Go and put your picture up at the end of the room. Imagine you doing this. You get your picture of your favourite, who's achieved. You're going to quit your job, remember, so might be on that front. But get your picture of who's achieved. Get them up the other end of the room, right? That's where we could achieve. That's the end of the stars, isn't it? That's what we would like. Hopefully, someone's got someone like Muhammad Ali or even Elon Musk. He's been very successful. We can talk about why another time. Anyway, look, get your picture at the other end of the room. Now, tell me. Tell me a little bit about their story. They would say, and they would say they were this big champion. I'd say, okay, that happened up there at the end of the room, didn't it, when they were big? Do you remember anything about their story? Where they came. If you talk about Muhammad Ali, he grew up in Kentucky. He was just a small town. It wasn't like he had anything special, big push in his. He didn't come from money or whatever. Okay, so now we're down this end of the room, aren't we? Take a few steps forward, because that's where he started, just there. Now, do you know anything about his story, about his first, boxing victories? Well, he, got into the amateur boxing scene, didn't he? He got into the amateur boxing scene, did quite well there, worked hard. He used to do running and whatever. Okay, move a few steps forward, because this is how, just only a step now. We're not up there still. We're still just here, but you're moving forward. And pick someone else. You tell me, at the age of like 32, they won there. Okay, that's quite far down the road, whatever. We outline how they took these steps through there, and eventually they get to the other end of the room, don't they? Oh, when they did the Olympics, that was huge. Okay, that was huge, yeah. And then they won the World Championships. Big leap forward for that one. We're getting there now. But then you take them back to the start. We go back to the start. They're up there again, aren't they? The big pictures, the dreams. They're our dreams now. They're us. They're us up there. How do we get there? Through these little steps. I started out at the amateur boxing club. Okay, well, that's for now. For next week, because remember, this week I wanted you to bring your pictures. We're doing this lesson. For next week, we'll start there. Because we are the amateur boxing club. We are the amateur fencing club. This is your first lesson. This is your first, this is your introduction to me as a coach, whatever. We'll start there. And I am a coach. I'm a qualified fencing coach. I'm qualified, not just teaching people to hit people with swords, but how to educate and deal with a class, like coaching in general. And then they apply that to fencing, and you also do a bit about this. I'm a qualified coach. Okay, I can say that. I've got a certificate, and I'm a hairdressing qualified as well. But the hairdressing thing doesn't apply so much here. But Harry's asking people to charge money. What I'm doing now, Harry would ask you for money. So bear that in mind. If you want to talk in chat, I'll just talk to you for free. So that's step one, is you pick your idol. You then understand that they could be you or any of us. They've just gone through some steps. Now, for some of us, let's be fair, it could be the right time, the right place. You could be Prince Harry at the other end of the room. Might be a bad example. How am I ever going to get to be born a prince? Well, I'm not. You know, sometimes the right time, right place. Some people might have really rich parents. Eddie Hearn's dad was already running a really huge, successful. Of course, how to be Eddie Hearn might be just get born as Eddie Hearn with a silver spoon. His dad was already running a hugely successful sports promotion company. But if Eddie Hearn didn't do any work and just went and sat on the beach playing PlayStation, then he wouldn't now be running that successful company. You still have to put the effort in from that start point. You might get lucky at the start point. Let's just assume most of us don't. So let's take some of the examples that are a bit out, you know, let's be fair, I can't be born the Queen. Let's be fair, I can't be born the Queen. No matter how hard I work at it. Okay, so I'm going to try and find examples. That's why I wanted you to choose real world examples of people and not like superheroes and stuff, because I can't be born Superman. I can identify with some of the characteristics that make Superman great and, you know, live them out in my life, in my behaviour, but I can't be born Superman. We were all born super people. Some things are easier for some people. Some people have got talents in ways and whatever. But some things are more difficult. But some things are achievable for all of us. So some of the people at the end of that room, some of the ideas that we've got in our heads about where we want to go, they're achievable. You can see people of all walks of life achieving this sort of thing. They don't all have to be the Elon Musk in the field, but there might be several different companies that are doing something in green energy that you admire. There might be several people that have built up their own, like Anita Roddick, who did the body shopping and ethical, you know, I admire her ethical stance on business and then her success. Maybe, you know, I don't know enough about her personally to say she's a hero of mine, but, you know, I'm just trying to throw some ideas out there. You can get a sense of achievement, and you can achieve because you're human, and it doesn't have to be that top end, but we're going to put that top end up there. We're going to reach for the stars. Reach for the stars, you know, because if you, what do they say, if you don't make it and you only hit the moon, then, you know, you're still out of space, aren't you? And that's the whole main thing, isn't it? Get out and out of space with all your money. I don't understand. Anyway, look, let's get our PC Paint up then. Right, I'm doing PC Paint. It's not a policeman, it's just paint. Like if you Google it, paint, which is weird. If you Google paint, then obviously it's going to come up with actual paint. But then just down here, like only 1, 2, they're adverts, yeah? They're adverts. The first 2 are adverts, so no wonder they're about paint. But the first 2 on the internet are Microsoft Paint and Paint. So even though paint itself is a real thing, like, you know, the stuff that you rub on your face when you are supposed to go to a business meeting and you want to be sure that people know that you mean business, you know, paint, like war paint. If paint doesn't come up first, what's happened to the internet? Well, it's made by computers, isn't it? So of course it recognises the computers first, and our perceptions of colour and beauty come a pale second. So we've got this. You'll love that because it's a little notepad. It looks like Notepad. Recval used to use it. It's too small for you to read. Web of a browser. Now I'm too small for you to see. Swings and roundabouts. So you've got PC Paint there. Let's fill it with our web of browsing. Let's fill it with our ideas. There's not that many, trust me. So how to do anything. How to be Eddie Hearn. How to do anything. Let's copy that in. Should we make it bigger? I bet you like it bigger. How to do anything. Bold. Okay. There's a few little steps. Step 1 is to set your long-term goal. We talked about that, didn't we? Talked about that. Paste. Paste. Long-term goal set. It's up there. It's where we want to be. It's what we want to be doing. That can't be in bold because the title's in bold. You're never going to get... No, it's all in bold. Oh, no. Okay, it's one or the other. You're never going to get a job if you can't do your CV. I'm not doing a CV. I'm not handing in a CV to anyone. This is all for me. I'm doing it myself. So, long-term goal set. Next, step 2. It's a really simple step. Is copy and paste. Research. What? Research. It's quite straightforward. It's that bit when I was asking the youngsters to tell me about the person's journey, what they did in their life to get them there. Some of them might not know. I might have to ask some questions. I'm not averse these days even at a fencing class, to somebody getting their phone out and going on Google, probably me at the start, and doing that research, the basics. Oh, so they studied at this university. Oh, so they got this, whatever. Like, it's on the internet, research. I want to be Eddie Hearn, do a little bit of research on the lad. I can just easily find out where his background is, who he's been talking to, what his business ventures were. I know, because I've seen some videos of Eddie Hearn in the past, I know that Eddie Hearn used to work as a salesperson at a double glazing place because his dad wanted him to learn the ropes of a business that wasn't being run by his own dad. So he could also get some experience in a world that he's going to be using in his professional life as a promoter. Whatever. He did that. I know that he did that. There's some research. Do your research. Find out a bit about what is needed to get to where you want to go. The people that have got there, what sort of things they did. If you can, like, let's go back to my hairdressing again. I wanted to be a hairdresser at one point. I'd never even picked up a pair of scissors. So I went for a haircut and I said to them, what's it like being a hairdresser? Can I have a look round that door? Do you mind if I come and hang out for an evening? And they were like, do you know what? We've got a job sweeping hair. If you want to come and hang out, you can hang out and paid £100 a week. And I was like, yeah, chuff it, I'll do that. Like, at least I know I'm in there. It's research, isn't it? I asked the other people. My sister was friends. My dad was friends with someone who ran a hairdressing salon somewhere else. I went there. Went in the salon. Hi, nice to meet you. Can I have a talk about this? Oh, it's interesting, yeah. Do some research. And that will lead you to the next step. And this doesn't have to be, like I said, research. You've got the internet, but it doesn't have to be like you're James Bond doing some spy work. You're not Matt Bourne. You don't have to be like knowing the intricacies of every market at this point. You just have to know the basics of what's going on. Short-term goal set, weekly target. Short-term goal. So now forget what I've just said. Remember those little steps. Remember those little steps. Remember the first couple of little steps. What do I need for? Remember I said we're going to talk about Eddie Hearn. So if I'm Eddie, I want to be Eddie Hearn. What's my weekly target? What do you mean, what's your weekly target? Well, you're going to have to get a beard. I've got a little bit of a beard. You're going to have to look smarter than that. You're going to have to look Gucci, mate. Gucci. Well, I'm nowhere near Gucci. Maybe by the end of the week, I want to be ironing my own shirt once a week and wearing a shirt. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it is. I haven't done all that research, but maybe it is. I don't iron a shirt. Maybe it's part. Weekly target. I've got to build up to it. Little step. Little step. At the early start of his career, he didn't always wear a suit and tie and the Gucci the whole time. Once a week, I'm going to be smart, presentable. Little step. What about a weekly target for it? I want to be Eddie Hearn. Well, what about we look at this career and this journey and we say we don't start by promoting Anthony Joshua's fight at Wembley. We start by your dad promoting. No, forget that. I'm going to have to do it on my own. So we can look at somebody else maybe as well, because Eddie Hearn isn't the only person that promotes fights. There's Frank Warren and there's the guys at Boxer who have just taken on and Sky Sports after Eddie Hearn. You can look into these other people's stories, see where they started. What about a short-term goal for a weekly target? A weekly target is by next week, I want to be in a position to decide what my next target should be. That sounds stupid. No, wait. I want to do enough research so at the end of this week, I can make a really good assessment of a weekly target. I want to have a monthly target as well, so I can make a good assessment of that. What about my first promotional job, my first promotional thing isn't going to be Anthony Joshua and all that. What about if I want to be Eddie Hearn, I can cut this all the way back to I want to get a job at a sales company, maybe. Or I want to maybe organise an evening with, like, an evening with promoting somebody, like a little theatre night or a music night. I want to organise a music night, because that's promoting, isn't it? That's selling a few tickets. That's getting your name out there. Maybe I want a short-term goal of deciding on a thing that I'm going to be a promoter for, getting a little job together, getting a little thing that's going to provide me with some measure of success, some ticket sales, some money, so that I can then go on and do the next one and the next one. And before you know it, we're on a road, that path that we talked about, those steps up towards where we want to go. We can reassess our targets every week, every month. So that's for Eddie Hearn. For you, the artist, if you're not changing your job, if you decided it's a good idea to stay in the job because it's stable, you enjoy it, it's good money, whatever. If you want to stay in your job, fine. If you want something else in your life beside that, if you want to learn to paint, setting a weekly target might not be I'm going to learn to do the Mona Lisa. It might be that every week I want to at least get some paint onto canvas. So this week I need to go and buy some chopping canvases. This is weekly target. By the end of the week I will have some canvases. Maybe it's simple as that. Then the next week it can be, I'm going to put some paint on them. You know, you don't have to be good paint. Just be putting it on. Just putting it on. The next week it can be, I'm going to learn from a YouTube video about how to paint a flower. Now that I'm used to getting the paints out and putting the colour on, the next week could be, do you know what I'm saying? So weekly, short-term targets. And if you notice what I've just described there, it's a repeating thing. A little bit of research, a little bit of a short-term goal set. At the end of achieving it, or not, a little bit of assessment. Now we could put assessment above this, because we sort of do, but I didn't say it. We could put assessment there, couldn't we? Assess it. Have another look. At the end of the week, let's have a little think on a Sunday while I'm walking the dog. How have my long-term goals gone? I might have them written on my phone, whatever. Have I achieved it? If not, why not? What did I learn that made me realise how further away the goal was than I imagined it was? Because sometimes these goals are further. You don't know. You know, it's okay to not achieve it, but did you achieve the thing of knowing that, unlocking the answer? So if so, yes, let's set the next goal. Let's assess it. Let's research it and assess it, and let's set the goal. And then, of course, there is one other aspect of this that I should probably put: assessment, set the goal, do some research, set the short-term goal before you assess it. Maybe in between there, we want this. Do it. I don't work for Nike. Just do it. Practice it is another word for doing it. You don't have to do it well. You don't have to achieve it. Just do it, though. If I want to learn to be a hairdresser, this week, not doing any hairdressing is not getting me anywhere near to being a hairdresser. If I want to be Eddie Hearn, this week, not putting my own promotional business together, whether it be researching, deciding on a venue for my music night, if it's going to be, you know, doing my assessment process, not doing it isn't going to make me Eddie Hearn. I've got to do that. I've got to assess it, set a long-term goal, set a short-term goal, and then actually go ahead and do it. I love the Eddie Hearn analogy because it seems so far out. Like, he got given a silver spoon, didn't he? And he likes to say, "Buddy turned it gold." He got given an opportunity that you probably won't get given. But if you spend your life working hard at promoting events and become a really good events promoter, maybe you might be in a position where a company like Eddie Hearn's dad's company is looking for someone, and you might get that opportunity at the right time. But you certainly can't just do it off today. I can't walk into Eddie Hearn's shoes. But if I assess the long-term goal, how to be a big promoter, if I break that down, the short-term goals, start as a small promoter and work up, and how to do that, well, let's do it. I could promote this week a comedy event. I could even do a sports event if you want to keep it sports. Boxing might be a bit out of might be a bit of a big league jump, but I could promote a running race on my local sports field for the lads at the pub, or for their kids' charity marathon. Not marathon, it's a long race, just like 100 metres. Do you know what I mean? I could set a short-term goal. By next week, I'm organising the first annual Christmas charity costume 100 metres dash on my local playing fields. And how do I achieve it? Like, is it going to make me any money for a start? Well, it's for charity, because I just want to practice doing it. But we'll talk about the money step we're going to talk about more steps of money in a minute. But practicing just to do it. If I achieve it, if I assess at the end of the week that went well, we might say, okay, now we can start risking some money. Maybe we can book a venue and a music act or a whatever, and let's achieve it and do it. Maybe I want to do, again, keeping it sports just for that reason. Maybe I want to look at a sport that doesn't have a lot of promotion on the internet and see, can I do an event with you? Maybe we can get your top 2 people to face off and I can sell some tickets. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I don't know, because I haven't done the research. Do the research. Have a little look. Let's set a weekly target, a monthly target, a longer term goal. Then let's practice it and do it. Now, money is going to come into this. We said we'd talk about it. I'll just put one more note here, copy and paste this. Assess. And this is a good one as well. Repeat. Rinse, repeat. That's how to do anything, isn't it? You have a look at it, you think about it, you say, okay, this is how I'm going to go about it. This is the time it's going to take. This is where I want to be. I'm going to find out about it. I'm going to set the weekly target. This is how much I want to achieve this week to get there. Break it down into small sections. Another analogy I like to use is it's like a field. It's like a field. So if you put your top goal at the end there, at the end of the room, in the field you've got a series of gates. And you've got to get through each gate to get to the final place. And each gate you get through is a little target you broke through and something you learned. And once you've opened your field out, each gate you open up, you open your field out, it can even get more difficult because there's more space to roam in and more options. But you keep opening out your field, and eventually, even if you're not over there, you've opened your field to the point where you've changed your life. So that's a good way of thinking about it. Series of gates, series of goals. You practice and you do it. You get better at it. You do more. Repeat. So earning some money is a problem. Oh, the other one I wanted to refer to there was being an artist and home renovation. Like, if you want to get into like property and you want to get a holiday home in the Algarve or something, like maybe starting out with a shed and an allotment sounds ridiculous. But if you paint it and do it up and someone wants to give you 50 quid to do a little renovation on their shed and you do a good job, and then somebody sees that and says, oh, I like the way you've done that. I like for 50 quid you sanded it all down and painted it all up and it looked really nice. And I'm saying about, like, I know it sounds stupid, like an allotment shed, but somebody might say that, and then they might say, do you want to do my on my veranda? I've got a nice veranda. Can you? And then you might have a few photos of these nice things you've done, and then you might be able to say, if you're doing up a thing, I've got some ideas. You got some money because it's your house, and I've got the idea. Maybe give me a little bit, and I'll do it. You might even be able to get into it as a renovating job, whatever. And then the skills you learn and whatever, you might be able to say after 6 months a year, let's get our own little thing and let's do it. It might be achievable. I'm not an expert, but this process of assessing it, setting a long-term goal, doing some research, finding a short-term project that you can achieve, and then using it as a stepping stone. For me, the hairdressing was simple. My short-term goals and my long-term, my mid-term, I wanted to get the qualification, so I had to enrol at the college, so I did. Then my short-term goal weekly was do what you were fucking told at college, but learn, practice, develop. At the end of this week, I want to be able to do this cut. At the end of that week, I want to be able to know this stuff about the colour, pass that exam. So the goals got me through it, and at the end of it, I was like, I am this much better now. Now I can reset my goals and say, I want to get in a salon. You should be giving me a job, mate, because I'm capable. And from there, I want to build up my client. It's steps. It's steps. So it costs money, though. Here we are, factoring in money. This is an important part now. So I'm just going to delete that and just put money. Money's a problem in life. It stresses you. It stresses you. It turned out for me that the money cycle, the having to bring it in to spend it out on the bills, the more work I was doing, the more bills I had, the more plates I was juggling. It actually became, the more money, the more stress I had. So I prefer it now, even though I make less money, that I feel less stressed. So I said I'd bring this up a few times. You've got to remember, this whole thing is about your mental health. Will all that we said before make you happier? I don't know. If it doesn't, don't do it. But if you feel a sense of achievement from things, do. Because if you push through those early stages when things are tough and it's financially difficult, you get to a point where it can be more financially sustainable. And how do I factor that in? I would say make something on the... I'm going to copy and paste again. Copy and paste. Make something on the side. What I used to do is I wanted to be in the media and stuff like that. So I used to offer out my services as a video producer. And I did a couple of things. Great. I used to be a hairdresser. So I cut some people's hair in friends and family for a bit of a discount. Whatever. 20 quid in my pocket. It's not enough. So along the way, a little bit of help. It's a little bit of help. Whatever new skills you're making, whatever new thing you're doing, whatever journey you're going on, there might be a little avenue in that. If you want to be a musician, you might be able to teach someone to play the guitar. If you're thinking about becoming an actor, then it might be that you can work in one of those places where you have to dress up, and because in our town we've got those places where pretend to be Shakespearean while you work, and it might help your acting skills. I don't know, it might a little bit of something on the side that's part of the journey that can also provide a little bit of money. It doesn't have to be that it's your be all and end all and it's your financial, like that's where you're going, but a little bit of something on the side as part of the journey. Because now, as a fully qualified NVQ level 4, having owned my own salon, if someone wants to pay me mates rates for a little job on the side, I don't want to go around the corner and do it, thanks. Get somebody else to do that who's on the way up, because I'm at the other end of that. People are willing to pay me full whack for the full job. I'm not interested in the side work because I can now command the real work. And if I need to walk into a job, this is my next one, is a job to fall back on. They say about this, but it's true, is if you are considering quitting your job, don't chuff them up the wall and say, oh, F you, chuff you, I'm not coming back. If you can leave in such a way, or if you know that your skills will transfer to another job, the similar job, it's okay to have a go on a journey and come back to the job. My skills I was learning as a hairdresser gave me that. There probably are one or two hairdressers who wouldn't let me work there, but if they wanted to have, if they've got any sense about it and they wanted to have happy customers, and I can do the job. So I've got that job to fall back on. I can make a bit of money if I need to. It doesn't have to be explosive. If I needed a part-time, that is important, because things are going to be a struggle in the early stages. And the thing I wanted to point this right now is this is about owning the means of production. This is, I want to, dangers of Bitcoin style investments. Becoming your own boss, doing your own thing, means you own the means of production. So when this is a Marxist idea, okay? It's a communist, socialist, Marxist idea that the people who own the means of production, they own the factories, for example. They own the way you make the stuff, so you have to work for them in their factory because they own the means of production. You produce, they get the benefits. Nowadays, we can own our own means of production. You can't stop me from cutting people's hair because I've got a pair of scissors. I own my own means of production. That means of production, the scissors, is what we call capital. No, Scott, it's not. Capital's money, mate. Capital's money. No, capital in an economic term, in a Keynesian term, is owning the means of production. Is the capital, is the things I have, the factories, the machines, my scissors. For me now, it's my computer, the monitor, my microphone. They allow me to make the thing that I can ask for money for. They allow me to make the product, the production. So in the past, I couldn't have this stuff, this microphone, all this stuff. I had to go through a television company because it was expensive. Now I can use it and do it. I can afford it. So I own it. In your work, whatever your endeavour will be, wherever you put your goal, whatever I quit my job to become owning the means of production is an absolutely vital investment. It's a vital investment. So don't worry about spending that money on yourself. Do you remember earlier I said stop wasting your money and spend it on yourself? Don't worry about that. Spend it on yourself as much as possible. If it's a piece of capital, if it's an item, a pair of scissors, then you can sell it later if you don't get your use out of it. It still retains certain value. And the thing you can do with it is you can turn it into money. I can cut people's hair with this. I can turn it into money. So it allows me to make my own money. It's the means of production. I now don't need a factory owner, a boss, who will let me use their tools. There is a benefit to being in a company because people come to the company for business. I don't have to use my own tools to make flyers and notes and get people coming. Do you want to use my company? There's different reasons for being small and part of a group or whatever. But if you want to make your own future and be dependent on yourself and it's about your own happiness, quitting this job, doing your own thing. If you want to be a roofer, you need to buy your tools. If you want to be a window cleaner, you need a ladder. If you own your own ladder, rather than renting it off someone every time or whatever, if you own your own ladder, then that's you being in control of your own business, of your own. So it's a vital investment. So don't be afraid to make that investment. Things will be tough. You might have to borrow some money here, there. You might build up to it. You might sell your sofa. But get your means of production in your hands. That's quite important. And this flip side of this, because we're talking about money, remember, money is difficult. Money is difficult. Can't even spell it. It's difficult. In our country, we've got something called the universal credit. It's just one cover-all. If whatever problem you're having, whether it be disability benefits or out-of-work benefits, or as we will see, I'm about to start my own business benefits, then you can go to the universal credit under the Department of Work and Pensions, and this one thing takes care of everything, and it's a right nightmare. But in principle, they will give you some money or some leeway or whatever if you're starting your own business and can prove these things. I know they do. They haven't given me that money because I was self-employed for a long, long time. So when I ended up needing universal credit to help me out because I wasn't earning money because of all the COVID and that, they started to give me this, like, you know, £400 a week. Sorry, £400 a month payment. But I didn't say, I'm starting a new business now, I'm not a hairdresser. I said, I'm still self-employed. Forget that extra bit of cash. I'm still self-employed. So, but if you're recently, you know, self-employed or unemployed or whatever, you want to do your own thing, there is some provision there in a benefit for you to have some money to print some flyers, to get your name out there, to whatever. So money's difficult. Use these resources. If it's universal credit, whatever, if it's friends, family, if it's staying in your mom's basement, whatever you think you need to do to save that money, to reduce those bills in these early stages, make something on the side, use your job to fall back on skills, make sure that you can get to own the means of production, the capital. That's the vital investment. And that way you can then push on, can't you? You can then cut some hair, make some money, make some more flyers, get some more customers, whatever it is. If you're Eddie Hearn, this is more difficult because you're providing a service and you're selling tickets. It might be your own ticket printing machine, your own t-shirt printing machine. It might be that you aim to own your own gig hall instead of paying somebody a venue cost every time you do it. Or it might be that that's a worse problem because owning your own gig hall comes with its own levels of you need to do the research, remember. But if it's something that you want to create, construct, if it's a service you want to provide, quite often there is some capital involved. Owning that means of production yourself is important. The dangers of a Bitcoin style investment. Now, someone's going to tell you at this point in your journey, just come to, I do this Bitcoin thing. I'm rich, you can get rich, it's easy. You've got money for a bit of investment, you've got a little bit of money for your own vital investment in yourself. Give it to me. Give it to me. Don't give it to anyone else. Don't give it to anyone else. They're going to say, well, invest it in Bitcoin then. You do this other thing. Don't give it to me. You put it over there where it's good and it's going to be good for you. Well, who are you? I'm just an advert person. I'm just marketing this thing. What are you marketing? Oh, that thing over there where you're putting the money. I'm marketing that really because I've got my money tied up in it. And if you put your money over there, I get more money. You know, investments. We're talking big money investments. If you're not big money investment, if you've got £1 million to day trade with, you can do this. You can make some big money. If you've got £1 million to put into a hedge fund, you're probably encouraging other people to put their money into the market because you're going to gather that up. Basically, there's a huge danger in people selling you this concept when they've got their own money tied up in the market. And the more money goes in, the better it is for them, long run. And you become one of these people because you put your money in. So now you need more people to say, hey, can you put your money in because it's going to be better for me. Bitcoin is not a scam. Bitcoin is a market. It's going to grow. Yes. But the people who are going to make the big money have already put the big money in. If you can't invest big money and you're going to be day trading, you're going to be taking all of your money for a tiny fraction of a percentage of increase every day because you need to make more than 40 quid a day. Otherwise, what's the point? If you're going to be using all your investment, your own money in that, there's a huge risk it could just dip, just go down a bit, because sometimes things go down a bit. Now you can't trade today, you've got no money. Now you've lost everything. It's so dangerous, but the people who've encouraged you to get in the market and all that, they were selling you their Bitcoin from behind the scenes. You bought their Bitcoin, they took your money, it's dipped, it's too late. There's a huge danger. If you're not putting your money into the means of production, if you want to get into the Bitcoin investment, if you want to what do? They have see again, research, work it out. I could do Bitcoin mining. What do I need to do? I need to buy a computer. What kind of computers do I need to? By the end of this week, my weekly goal is know what kind of computer is best for doing Bitcoin mining. And at the end of next week, it might be go out and buy the chopper. It might be that it's really expensive and I need to earn a certain amount of money. How am I going to earn that money to buy this computer? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we can become a Bitcoin miner. We can own our own means of production. But giving the money to somebody else on an advert, on an internet, on an idea, not a good idea. Did you go to stock markets? If you want to become a day trader, a successful day trader, did you go to stock market school? No. Should you maybe do some learning? Yes. What's my research on that? I need to do a lot of research. I might just assume I can do it. I did it for a little while. I made £40 a day. I transferred about £200, £300 around. Every day I moved my own £300 around. And every day I had like 320, 340, 380, 300. Some days it wasn't much of a gain. Some days it was only like fractions, and it wasn't worth transferring it around all day. It was a waste of my day. But not much, and I said to myself, right, I could do this every day now for like a year, and it could all go wrong on a whim of a market. It could all go wrong, but I'm basically putting in the same hours as I would working at the burger shop for slightly less money, unless I risk a whole lot more. And if I risk I don't have it to risk, but if I did have it to risk, I wouldn't want to be risking it every day because it's a whole lot more. So I didn't find that to be successful. Maybe some people are, but I think a much more sensible and secure way of owning your own means of production, of being in control of your own life, is to invest in yourself and the capital, the means of production, so that you can do it, no one can stop you. Not letting everything be marketing. Happiness is the journey, not the destination. Final 2 points here on this are really important. Do you remember I said that there are people who are going to try and get you involved in a scam, a scheme, and what it involves is they've got some products and you can become a seller of these products. You buy the pack. It's marketing. Do you remember I said those people at the hairdressers, they wanted me to sell their hair colour, so I became a tool for Schwarzkopf to sell hair colour. I don't want to be that. I want to be a hairdresser. Everything is marketing for if it's sales. If the bottom line of the thing is it's sales, it doesn't matter what it is you're selling. You can be really passionate about selling it, but if it's sales, it's marketing. It's convincing people to buy the thing. Bottom line. Oh, it's a really good thing. They should want to buy it. Oh, it's going to change the world. If you're passionate about it, if it's a good thing, like ecological power, it might be good to help sell that. Some things might be good. You could be passionate. If it's like a vegan burger, the concept of the vegan burger, I'm passionate about. Veganism, I'm passionate about. One particular company, not so passionate myself. Vegan burger's good. A vegan burger from one branded company, that's not my passion. You've taken my passion and you've turned it into marketing for your one branded product and thing. So I'm now working as a salesman again. I thought I was working as a passionate advocate for veganism because I love veganism and this vegan burger helps me to promote. Now I'm working for a marketing company again. It's just sales again. And what tricks do we want to employ to help us? Oh, all the marketing tricks and the sales. Oh, we're on Twitch now and Twitter, and I'm on Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter. But you know what I mean? Let's not let everything be marketing. If you're going down that road, you're not going to be happy with your journey nor your destination, and that is not the whole point. The whole point of quitting your job to do something you really care about, unless, God forbid, you really care just about marketing. But I've said God forbid there. I'm going to go big face because this one's important. And it's going to come across really badly to some of our younger listeners. But, success in terms of YouTube. Success, ex-God Ludwig did a really good job of marketing himself. Success in terms of marketing in our world now looks really good at the high end. It looks like that's where you want to be and that's the good thing. It might not be. It might not be that Ludwig's difficult for me to pick on because I don't know what his content's like. But not letting everything be marketing, you know. I'll relate it to me instead. It's better I relate it to me because I'm not picking on anyone then. I make content on the internet. I want the content to be good. If I wanted to get involved in that marketing and get the numbers up and get the numbers and the views and the subs, my content might change. I might, Mr. Beast wants views. That's what he wants. So he does content that gets views. Now, is this week's Squid Game related tie-in, like, it might be entertainment, maybe. Certainly gets you views. You can get into the world of tabloid journalism, can't you? You can say something sensational for views. Drama alert, Keemstar. Not everything has to be marketing. And that stuff, when you start to go down that road, it might look good to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube because you're watching the people and you wish you had 1 million views. But ending up as a marketing tool on a marketing job, it might not be that good. Unless if we go back to the start and your idol up there, your person you wanted to be, the success you want to have is based on your love of marketing, fine. But if it wasn't that, if it's got confused and distorted along the way, if the people you admire are real people and not marketing creations, and if you didn't want to be a transformer or whatever, consider this. It's important. Don't let everything be marketing or become marketing. It was important for the hairdressing. I had to get the people in. I had to do a good flyer. But I wanted to be a good hairdresser. I didn't get into it to make flyers. If you want to... and it's good to make a good flyer. It's good to have some positive images for your brand. And you're in that world now. You're in that commercial world. But if you let it get out of hand and you let everything be marketing, then you're lost. Because you're then going to become a slave to marketing companies who will market to you their ideas, and you're just, because you're so involved in marketing, you're part of marketing. Oh, they're telling me marketing ideas, and I'm so used to using marketing ideas, I think they're good, and I can see there's a financial incentive for me there. So now you've become a tool for the marketing company. You didn't want that. You didn't want it. And finally, the happiness is in the journey, not the destination. I said it earlier, and I couldn't give you a good example, but I knew I was talking about it to somebody else the other day, and they were telling me that they felt when they achieved things, they didn't get any sort of... Actually, this is similar to Eddie Hall as well. Eddie Hall became the world's strongest man, and did it make his life better? Yes, because he worked on that from that position to, get other opportunities and make the best of them. But when he got handed the trophy, did his life change? No, he's still the same man before and after trophy. But another friend of mine was telling me about when they achieve things, it doesn't feel great. They don't have the sense of achievement. But it's the journey on the way to achieving it that gives you the sense of achievement. The looking back and saying, look how far we came and where we're at now, and wasn't that good? I remember when we were struggling. I remember when we struggled. It was worth the struggle. So never be afraid of the struggle, and never hate the struggle. Love the struggle. It's the journey, not the destination. And with that in mind, after a year of it, when you reassess your goals, you might say, hang on, I don't want the same thing as I wanted last year. Doing this all year has made me feel differently. I might get there and not want it. Or, I might want more. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's about the journey, not the destination. As long as you're moving forward, as long as you're able to become sustainable, as long as the short term, even if the short term is not sustainable, you have to set yourself a target and a goal, and by this point we will be. Otherwise, I have to jack it in and go back to working at that thing. Whatever. Build that into your model. It's not easy for everyone. Life is not. But don't let Prince Harry tell you what to do. Because he's got no idea about your life. Where we are. Prince Harry's got no idea about your life. He's got no idea. His marketing company might be doing some marketing research with the data that they are provided by the people who pay them to deliver their data to them. They might know, but Prince Harry doesn't. And the company that he's promoting, they're certainly not the best people to be listening to when it comes to should you quit your job or how to coach your life. They're not going to be the best people to listen to. They're going to be marketing ideas at you, and their success is their own financial success, not your mental well-being. And whether they try and tie the two to, but if you're mentally happy, we are successful, we did a good job. No, I want more people on my phone for my advice line. So I don't care necessarily if they're not happy at the end. Honestly, come on. Whereas I have just spent an hour and a half giving you the basic advice that they can give you. I'm going to be here again in the week, Tuesdays, and we do Monday, Mental Health Monday, 8 p.m. GMT every Monday. We're here. Tuesday, YouTube streamer, gaming. Wednesday, here talking art, culture, chuff, trying to get something to edit for our YouTube channels that are not just Mental Health Monday, but they live at Ganji Kid. And at the bottom there, you can see we do art chats. Ooh, art chats. Yeah, trying to get something for the art chats. Thursday, I do some streaming on YouTube. Friday, I do some streaming on here. Saturday, Sunday, you get the gist. You can tip me on coffee.com. I'm going to turn this into a sustainable thing by creating a podcast. I've got a podcast set up over there. January, we're going to be doing the podcast. I've got my plan, my targets. I want 20,000 views a podcast episode. I want to do one a month. That's at the end of all this year of what we've achieved this year. I've got another new set of target. Fine, it's good, isn't it? Like we discussed today. Don't listen to Harry. I'll give you the advice for free. If you want to come back and talk about these things in the future, of course do. I'll give you the advice for free. And we are going to fight for these sort of services to be available to people for free. That's what we want, is for that advice, that coaching to be available. It should come through community endeavour. You should have friends, family, that are prepared to put their arm around you and to help your mental health come first and celebrate that fact when you look for your next journey, next adventure. You know, that should be the case in a healthy social world that we live in, like the modern social world. We've damn it got enough resources, damn it we've got enough, clever people. That should be a basic. But it's not for everyone. It's not. I know it's not for you, maybe I don't. For you, pointing the finger at you. But I know it's not. That's not the case for everyone. We don't all have the right amount of support. Some people are charging money for it and putting it behind closed doors and pretending to be really. Oh, look at me in this room full of young people, and we're all different ethnicities, and we're going to be here for you, and it's a professional shindig. So book us for your next conference. At the end of the day, they care about their money. They don't care about you. I care about you. That's why I'm doing this. So we're going to get there. And again, look, it got a little bit wound up, didn't it? It got me a little bit wound up. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Relax. Something we learn in Mental Health Monday. Everything comes in waves. And until next time, my little puckos, you be good. And if you can't be good, then I'm going to charge you like $40 an hour to listen to your chuffing goings on and not offer you any real solid, or a script that I can read to make you feel uplifted. And on 70% of people, it makes them feel uplifted. So it works 70% of the time, all the time. Now, honestly, I can write a little script and we can hone it so that 70% of the people, it makes them feel uplifted. And then once you've said whatever you said, I'll just read that to you. And then you'll go away thinking, oh, that made me feel uplifted for 10 minutes. That was worth my money. Like, if that's the way the money drives it, that's the way the money drives it. Whatever. And if you can't be good, that's what you're getting. But you have been good. So instead you get me. And sometimes I'm cross about the bad people trying to steal your money. And other times I'm happy that we can do this together and push this forward. So you like it, really. Don't tell me you don't. You be good, my little podcast. We'll be back.